a pair of Ukrainian Su-25 aircraft struck enemy positions with precision-guided missiles, hitting their targets with devastating accuracy. Ukrainian forces continue ground operations in the Toretsk region, effectively defending the area and disrupting Russian advances. Ukrainian forces didn't just hold defensive positions. They also carried out offensive raids. Special military units launched sudden shock attacks on positions where Russian soldiers were hiding. The Ukrainian army deploys only its elite, highly trained soldiers for these operations. In such high-risk missions, Russian forces often suffer heavy losses, caught off guard and unprepared for Ukraine's precise strikes. Here, a Russian soldier who chose an unusual hiding method still couldn't escape the drone. A Russian soldier moving across open terrain became the target of a Ukrainian FPV drone. So desperate, he didn't even attempt to run. The drone pilot tracked him closely for a while before striking directly. Two Ukrainian soldiers, under the cover of their comrades, hurl-captured TM-62 mines at Russian positions hidden among the ruins of Vovchansk in the Kharkiv region. After the soldiers throw the mine inside, they quickly move away. Moments later, the underground Russian trench is blown apart. In the same area, another Russian bunker comes under attack. Ukrainian soldiers cautiously advance, place the mine inside, and quickly retreat. Two Russian soldiers and the bunker are effectively eliminated. A Russian attempt to infiltrate Ukrainian defensive positions was stopped by drones. Advancing through the forest, the Russian soldiers were spotted and targeted by the UAV. Caught off guard by the drone strike, the Russian soldiers come into view one by one. Look closely. The first soldier, then right beside him, the second, the third, the fourth, and finally, the fifth. All five were taken out by the drone. A Russian soldier is spotted on the radar of Ukrainian reconnaissance drones. The Ukrainian drone pilot swiftly maneuvers to the soldier's location, targeting him as he searches for cover. The FPV drone quickly moved toward the Russian soldier's position. Russian troops continue to wander aimlessly on the front line. After the first strike, the soldier panicked and tried to flee, taking cover in a nearby abandoned structure. But a second drone, carrying a high explosive payload, targeted the ruin where he had hidden. A Ukrainian fiber optic FPV drone from the Vitory Battalion of the 36th Marine Brigade caught a Russian military vehicle on the road. The drone quickly closed in on its target. But the Russian soldier made a critical mistake that only made the Ukrainian pilot's job easier. In a panic, he abandoned the vehicle, leaving the FPV drone free to strike and destroy the Russian armored transport. Russian forces announced significant advances in the Lyman region, but the reality is very different. Ukraine's Signum unit has been relentlessly striking Russian targets in Lyman, turning numerous military vehicles and infantry into drone targets. Here, a Russian military truck carrying supplies to the front is in the drone's sights. After the first strike hits its fuel tank, a second attack targets the same spot, completely destroying the vehicle. Russian forces lost 50 soldiers in the Lyman region alone in September. In September, Russian forces claimed significant advances on the Ukrainian front. But the reality is far from their assertions. Ukrainian units, using FPV drones, have exposed the true state of the battlefield by targeting Russian infantry. Across hundreds of kilometers of the front, individual Russian soldiers are seen wandering alone, unaware, becoming one by one the prey of these drones. Each movement is tracked with precision, leaving the enemy vulnerable and helpless. What Russia presents as progress is, in fact, a series of isolated losses, with drones turning the battlefield into a deadly trap for their forces. The drones strike with unmatched accuracy, forcing Russian soldiers into constant panic. Ukraine carried out a drone strike on the Novo-Ufa oil refinery. Watch the moment the drone impacts. This attack caused Russian forces major problems in supplying fuel to the front lines. A Russian armored vehicle, an older infantry carrier, advances toward Ukraine's 28th Brigade positions. The fiber optic drone is still out of range, so Ukrainian forces wait patiently. After covering a long distance, the vehicle finally enters an exposed position, now within striking distance. The vehicle is completely obliterated in a violent explosion. Here, 2 more Russian soldiers chose a very poor position to hide. Ukrainian artillery delivers long-range strikes, taking out Russian infantry and positions. An effective artillery strike also targets the 2 soldiers. Ukrainian artillery continues to strike Russian targets with deadly precision. Each barrage hits its mark, destroying fortifications, vehicles, and enemy positions. Russian forces are left powerless, watching as their defenses crumble under relentless fire. Despite their claims of control, the battlefield tells a very different story. One of chaos, loss, and relentless Ukrainian firepower. Every missed opportunity and every exposed position is quickly punished. Russian troops struggle to regroup, but Ukrainian fire keeps them off balance. Russian forces claim they have full control of the Kostiantynivka area, but on the front line, the situation is far from good for them. Here, 2 Russian soldiers are spotted as they enter a trench. And within moments, an FPV drone strike is launched. Here, another Russian soldier is seen entering a bunker, completely unaware. As soon as the position is revealed, an FPV drone is dispatched. The skilled drone pilot maneuvers with precision, reaching the entrance of the bunker. Despite all these losses, Russian forces continue to claim that they have full control of the area. Russian forces continue to leave their equipment out in the open. Ukrainian units have systematically destroyed Russian artillery positions one by one using FPV drones. Russian soldiers think they've camouflaged them well, but they keep making the same mistakes. They leave hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of military equipment exposed to destruction. For Ukraine, it only takes a few $100 drones to do the job. Each strike not only destroys the hardware, but also weakens Russia's ability to sustain its offensive. What the Russians consider strong positions are, in reality, nothing more than easy targets for Ukraine's drone operators. With every hit, the battlefield balance tilts further, as cheap FPV drones continue to outsmart and outmatch expensive Russian firepower. The 2nd Battalion of Ukraine's 95th Air Assault Brigade found an unusual way to neutralize a Russian soldier moving towards Sumy. When the drone's battery was nearly depleted, operators positioned it directly above a Russian trench. Moments later, as the soldier passed beneath, the drone was remotely detonated, delivering a deadly surprise. A Russian D-30 howitzer was destroyed by Ukraine's 8th Berdyansk Border Guard Detachment on the Zaporizhia front. The strike was carried out with an FPV drone, turning the powerful artillery piece into a burning wreck. The D-30 is a Soviet-era 122mm howitzer, first introduced in the 1960s. The Ukrainian Signum Battalion of the 53rd Mechanized Brigade has destroyed numerous Russian UAVs in the Lyman direction. By taking out these drones, they not only neutralized immediate threats, but also effectively prevented Russian forces from gathering crucial intelligence in the area, maintaining full operational control. With every drone eliminated, Russian forces are left struggling to assess the battlefield. Look closely. A Russian infantryman moves among the trees, but the cover isn't enough. The drone has already been set in motion. Beyond all this, the conflict between Ukraine and Russia continues to escalate without pause. The war has shown no signs of ending this summer, heightening tension with every passing day. Both sides remain resolute, unwilling to back down.